Hey guys, figured I'd give you guys a little room tour because I don't have any new art to share. By the way, this cat isn't me, if that's not obvious. And this room is where all the magic happens. Okay, it's not that magical, it's just an office. So when you enter the room here, to the right of me is a very, very dangerous breed of guard dog. What an odd looking dog. Moving on, here is my giant water jug. Gotta stay hydrated and not dehydrated. Chair, desk. So if it isn't obvious, this is where I spend my whole life. I do all my digital painting work, my drawing, sketching in a sketchbook, scrolling on Reddit, work, snack, taking a nap. I definitely do not play League of Legends. Gotta hate that game. This is the place for peace and positivity. So this desk is actually one of those ergonomic standing desks. The contraption here is actually some inexpensive op brand that I just can't seem to remember the name of. And this surface is a random wooden top that I just got off of Facebook Marketplace. With main equipment is my monitor, keyboard, this 22-inch Wacom Cintiq. Wacom? I don't know. This model is not the newest model, but I got this in 2017 and totally and responsibly splashed my entire paycheck on this piece of slab. The screen protector is expertly put on by yours truly, not a single bubble in sight. I wouldn't recommend jumping to a high-end equipment when starting out because I was literally drawing like this back in 2017. So here is my Razer Tartarus so I can game with the girls. But I mainly use it as a keyboard shortcut for this thing. Instead of going crazy on my main keyboard, I customize each key for any shortcut I would use on my drawing program. Here is some of it in action from my shorts. On the top left here on my Cintiq screen, no, the right, sorry. It's the list of all of my shortcuts that I would use because I totally just forget every time I turn on the computer. Now the left side here is my default setting for my webcomic files whenever I start on a new episode because I also forget that too. When not drawing, the Cintiq is basically my glorified second monitor. So this thing is my actual keyboard. Side note, aren't these frog keycaps so cute? It fits with the ensemble here. Look at the frog mat. So this is my mechanical keyboard, meaning it's so obnoxiously loud just the way I like it. Here, let me give you a little ASMR experience. This is my deck shelf, which is a lifesaver, else all of this crap would be all over my desk. And this ADHD clock is totally not supporting my monitor. Notepad holder, Luffy, headphone. I hide papers and books under here. My iPad, which I also use for drawing. Kindle, microphone where the RGB is its higher charm. Pop filter, phone stand / charger. Oh, I should mention my Cintiq is on an arm so I can swing this baby around and adjust the angle when I need to use it. And then to hide away my immaculate cable management back here when not in use. And under my Cintiq are my current notebook and sketchbook I'm trying to finish up. I just started the sketchbook. Okay, so prepare yourselves. This is underneath the desk. Yeah, so I was supposed to cable manage this but just never got around to it. Good thing it's underneath my desk so I don't have to see it. I have a sketch recording problem, which is why I hide it underneath my desk. Here's my blanket. I was supposed to hang this framed print of a drawing I drew, but I also never got around to it. Okay, lore drop. Look at this empty wall behind me. And this box here is where my rabbit's litter box is. So I have this irrational fear of hanging things on that wall because I've heard stories of things falling off the wall and basically guillotining their rabbit, and I just don't want to risk it. Anyways, I'm overthinking. Drawer tour. On top of it is my PC, of course. So here is the iconic IKEA Alex drawers. I also label these because, as you know by now, I am an absolute fool. Random stuff that I use every day apparently. Pen drawer, gotta use all of these. I also do have a dry pen bin that I hope to fill up soon, so just side project. Journaling drawer, skipping the camera drawer, that's this one. And then the cables, scanner, and paper drawer. Off to the side here is my whiteboard. Blurred, of course, can't have my mastermind plans out in the open. Oh, here's this motivational quote I printed out and stuck on here. It's a very long version of Just Do It, for my evil plans, of course. The IKEA pegboard that every Tumblr Visco college girl had back in my day. It has my smaller journals, field notes, charms, pen, and knickknacks. Also, my old obnoxiously loud keyboard. I had a little resin keycaps phase. Here are my fruit frog that I bought in a set a long time ago. Okay, this was a gift drawn by a friend of mine. It's my Webtoon character drawn in the JoJo Bizarre Adventure style on a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Isn't that so cool? I stuck it on one of those baseball card displays because who wouldn't? Rubik's Cube, Ghibli miniatures, also gifted from a friend of mine from their Japan trip. That damn artwork again. Okay, let's walk here. The first shelf is my, oh, wait, hello there. So the first shelf has my book nook, my collection of field notes, because I collect them. Well, I use them all, but I also mainly collect the out-of-print covers. Yes, the box is 3D printed. Camera lens, SD card. Next shelf is my miniature dollhouses. I assembled this right one here on the previous video. I like assembling things for fun when I don't feel like drawing or going outside. Here are my inks, gouache, and watercolor paints, Posca markers, brushes, both my oil and acrylic paint. I do want to get back into painting eventually, so hopefully I could make some video content on that soon. And down here are my Copic markers, other branded markers in the back, colored pencils, watercolor palette. So these ceramic cups here were hand thrown and painted by another friend of mine, so it is a one of a kind. Hello baby, just don't judge me, mommy's filming. And that's basically it. Obviously I have this big ass plant here that's been featured in some self-portraits of myself. She is an icon. I've had her for 3 years at this point, so hopefully I don't kill her off. This entire workspace has been in the works for quite some time, and by that I mean a lot of years. When I was growing up, I did start with a shared desk that I shared with my parents and my brother, so I never really had my own desk until late high school. So around my college years, I did move around a lot, so I started with a much smaller and much more cramped setup. My desk has clearly evolved over the years. I don't really have any photos from before 2017 in this little slideshow here. What I'm getting down to is that I've accumulated each equipment and each little trinket and pieces very slowly. This is definitely not something I splashed money on within a matter of weeks. So just wanted to put that disclaimer out there. I also know this is not as clean and polished or aesthetic like many lovely creators in the space, but because of the years that I poured into carefully growing the space, I can truly feel that this desk is mine and fully optimized for my specific uses, whether that is filming, drawing, painting, scrolling on Reddit. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one and wishing you all an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye!